David, thanks very much for speaking to me today about the work that you're involved in. First question just that I want to ask you is who is Lantra and what do they do?
Lantra is the Sector Skills Council for the environmental and land-based industries. Those industries are grouped into actually 17 quite separate industries, and everything from landscape to agriculture to veterinary nursing, to give you that broad overview. What we do essentially is we hold the middle ground between employers and funders of education, and our role is really to look at skills and business development and education needs of those 17 sectors and reflect that through to funders and government to ensure that we actually get education shaped to being employer and demand led.
Yeah, that's great. So David, can you describe some of the projects with whom you're involved at the minute?
Yeah, we actually have a range of projects going, and we've just finished quite a big piece of work with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the outworking of that has been a project which has developed a system called Course Finder. Now, Course Finder has taken all of the education provision available for our sector, both the technical and indeed the softer skills, and put it into one electronic system. And how that works is that really anyone anywhere in the UK can type in the type of course they're seeking, put their postcode in, and that will show them the comparative distance to that piece of training or skills development.
Okay, David, just really in terms of maybe the future developments, what do you see, in your role with Lantra or Lantra itself? What developments would there be for the voluntary and community sector? What benefits are there for them in working with Lantra?
Yeah, we actually have within our footprint about 1.5 million employees across the UK. 500,000 of those would actually be in the volunteering and community side, and those would range from working with industries such as the Wildlife Trust, the National Trusts, conservation volunteers, equine, indeed some of the dog and cat refuge centres and others. So volunteers for us actually is a huge contribution to our sector, indeed a huge contribution to the UK. In terms of contribution to the sector, I mean, without them many of our environmental and other industries actually would not survive. And in terms of contribution to the UK, many people develop skills and skills and training which will lead them actually into employment, which is quite laudable as well. There are others who volunteer just for health and environmental benefits, but the importance certainly to our sector is that contribution and what they bring, and what the sector would not survive without them. Long term then for Lantra, quite a big piece of work we've done over the last 3 years was the creation of sector skills agreements. And I think going forward for Lantra now will actually be the implementation of those sector skills agreements and bringing them to fruition with the various stakeholders, including government and industry.
Can you just describe, David, what is that sector skills agreement? What is it made up of?
Yeah, a sector skills agreement basically looks at the training at which employers say they're going to demand and going to undertake and do. And the other side of that, that's a compact, really described as a compact, that agreement, that actually how government then is actually going to move their funding and provision and other interventions to meet the needs of industry. And the two coming together should actually prove to be very fruitful in terms of upskilling and delivering the skills we need to drive UK businesses forward.
That's great, David. Thanks very much.